Great. Hello, hello, everyone. We are so sorry that we are late. Whoever's in here already, I think Chima, you were definitely in here. Can y'all see? Can y'all see the comments? Emmanuel and Christine, can y'all see the comment?
No.
Chima commented. He was like, "Y'all have two podcasts going on because the other live was still active."
Yeah. Oh,
So
I can see it now. Okay.
okay, good. So he was like,
Want
"So
me to
y'all
delete
got
the
two
other one?
lives?" Yeah, I already deleted the other live.
Okay.
And then Jeremy was on the other live, like, "Hey y'all," and I was like, "Oh,
Uh,
no,
okay.
it's okay. It's okay." We're like, "Oh, hi, Nashis. Hello, hello, hello." We are first and foremost, we are so sorry we're late. Christine had to get on a flight, so and
I'm
the
sorry,
government,
guys. The
yeah,
government shut down. It's okay.
mm-mm.
The government shutdown has messed up the airport, so I had to fly into IAH, which is in Houston, and I literally just landed, and they had to they have a ground stop because there's like a shutdown. So TSA and like the air traffic control, they're like short staffed, and they're having like a whole bunch of issues. So they're limiting like how many flights can land in Houston, so they have enough people to like man them. So my flight got super delayed. Long story, just literally checked in and settled. So it's all my fault. I'm sorry.
No,
Open the
it's
government.
that's what I'm saying. It's really not your fault because it's the government's fault.
It's
Okay,
crazy.
because
I'm all
there's a lot
flustered. I'm
going
like,
on. Yes, but
how are you guys?
yeah, hi everyone. How's everybody doing? First and foremost, we have some, very sad and important topics to discuss today. But
Yes.
first and foremost, we wanted to check in with everybody. Emmanuel, say hi. Emmanuel's also on here. He's gonna get on camera too, but he's driving right now. So
Yep. How's everybody doing? I'm here.
y'all want to get straight into the? Should we just get straight into it to the current events?
No, can we like lead into it? Because I'm like,
Okay.
so it's really sad and we have to get into it. But on a more positive note, Emmanuel, I saw that you're having you're headlining your own show. So congratulations on that.
Appreciate that. I'll get more details and more promo out there for the 26th. But yeah, I'm excited.
That's
That's
awesome.
amazing. And
We'll
what
definitely be
what
there.
what other current events are going on? I know the world is not really in a good place right now, so it's probably not going to be good things. But
Pray
what
for
other?
Jamaica. I heard that I think it was Hurricane
Mm,
Melissa hit them really, really hard. So definitely pray
yeah,
for Jamaica.
yeah. I had to cancel. Well, not cancel. We were planning a trip to Jamaica, so we decided to wait on that because of the devastation of the hurricane, and a lot of the hotels were probably going to be affected. So the
Yeah, for sure.
resorts, yeah. What? That's sad. Jamaica and Cuba, yeah. So we were like,
Mhm.
we're just gonna avoid the entire Caribbean for right now. Um, but yeah, that's been devastating. And then Nigeria, did you guys see the?
Yes.
Is it okay? Is it true? Because I know like Donald Trump issued a statement about like there being like the murders of Christians in Nigeria. Is that like actually true, or is it like propaganda that's being like I have to look into it, but it's like I have to make sure that I don't trust everything that everybody says.
I
So,
mean, it's both true and also a little bit because Muslims are also dying. So it's kind of that
mhm.
thing of like Boko Haram is killing Christians, but they're also killing Muslims and just citizens in general over there in I think in northern Nigeria. So a lot of it is like Trump being Trump and the United States finding a way to be able to have at least a little bit more soft power in the region. Because I mean, you
Yeah.
do have Burkina Faso and all those boys who have been taking away some of the French power over there, and I feel it might be more of a political play than anything else. But that's just my theory.
Okay, so there's like it it's actually there's truth to it, but they're also using it as a reason to like invade or get into Nigeria somehow.
Exactly, just having a U.S. presence in a place where they're not so U.S. and like West friendly.
Gotcha. It's unfortunate. Well, prayers up to our
Yeah,
Nigerians
I
as
don't know
well.
much about it, but there definitely are people getting killed though, because there's a lot of Nigerian people that have been speaking out. Like, as far as the details, I'm not sure, but I did see that. So people have been saying like, pray for Sudan, pray for Nigeria.
Hmm.
Um, but the details, I can't speak
Yeah,
to because I'm
that's
not
very
involved.
sad. Twitter shows like everything, so I saw like some of like the graphic
Mm-hmm.
pictures, unfortunately, because X doesn't have any censors now. So prayers up, because I consider myself to be Christian. So I mean, religious persecution, that's horrible. I just wanted to make sure that was like that's actually happening. I'm gonna have to look into it to really get the details of it, because a lot of times people do use propaganda in order to exploit countries. So yeah, I'll definitely look into that.
I think
Hello,
one of the
Naya.
big problems with the whole Boko Haram conversation is like they've been here for a long time. Oh snap! My DoorDash.
Oh yeah.
They've been here for a long time. Like since 2015, there's U.S. interviews. So if like Trump really wanted to do something about it, he could have started doing something a while back in getting communication with them. But strangely enough, it's like Islamic terrorism usually affects the Muslim people most of the time, and then Christians are next up. So for me, it's always that thing of like, yes, it's Islamic terrorism, but it also terrorizes Muslims, and you have to put that into consideration so that it doesn't make it seem like every single Muslim you see, or it can go into this narrative where it's like, oh, only Christian Nigerians are being affected by this.
Well, there you have it. I mean that's really sad. I'm gonna have to look into that further. But we the main thing that we wanted to discuss today is the recent events that has happened in Sudan. I know we talk about Sudan here and there because since we're a new country, we're technically not Sudanese. Sometimes I'm like, is it even our place to even discuss these things because we're no longer a part of that country? And we get those comments a lot too, like, why y'all even discussing this? Like, y'all, we're not Sudanese anymore. We're South Sudanese. And then I saw somebody use the term that I think I can relate to, which is I think they said like this is something like fatigue, like genocide fatigue, or conflict fatigue, and that's probably what honestly probably have experienced, but we can't afford to have that because it's like there's a huge humanitarian crisis. And just being from South Sudan, we know a lot about conflict. We've experienced a lot of conflict. My dad was part of the war, and it does kind of like sometimes you do want to turn a blind eye or you want to kind of get away from that because you we have so much history of war, but it's gotten to a point now that Sudan is facing like one of the largest humanitarian crises that we've seen in a while, and we just can't ignore it. So we wanted to kind of touch on that today. Did y'all want to add
I'll
anything?
chime in just because I feel like I kind of have a different perspective.
Hmm.
Obviously, I do consider myself to be South Sudanese, but
Hmm.
I have family that's directly affected for over the last 2 years since the war started. I've lost
Hmm.
so many of my family members. A lot of all of my mom's family lived in Khartoum, and now they're all displaced. We've lost so many family members. Just last month, my uncle Muhammad passed away. He was my mom's only brother. And I don't want to get emotional, but
Yeah.
sometimes I feel like I understand the history of South Sudan, but I, like, my family literally is displaced and people are dying. It's literally a famine. Like, there's no food. I think he's passed away directly as a result of the war because it's like even if you get food to certain people, the effects of not having like food regularly, it takes a toll on your body to the point where I feel like he's passed away as a result of like prolonged periods of like not having adequate enough amount of food, not to mention being beat up, um, having to constantly move around. Like my cousins haven't been in school this whole time. Like it's literally a war zone, and like I said, it's really bad. So
Yeah.
I do understand how people feel, but this is the worst, one of the worst humanitarian crisis that's happening in the world, if not like top two or top three. And it's a famine. Like they're not allowing people to bring in food to people, which is like usually during a war they would avoid civilians and like allow aid to be brought in, but they're not even doing that. And as you can see, as a result of what's happened in El Fasher, a lot more attention has been brought to the war, which is a good thing, but it's been going on for like 2 years now. So,
Yeah, and that's the thing. I didn't even know like where to start because this is not even this situation is so layered and even with what you just said, like your family being affected, I'm there's a lot of us South Sudanese people that have been affected by this crisis as well. So it's not as easy as saying like, oh, well, we're South Sudanese now, so that means anything that has to do with Sudan doesn't affect us. It's not true because we're like literally we're right next to each other. We're neighbors. So we're still like geopolitically connected, and what happens in Sudan also affects South Sudan because that's where they're going to be displaced to. A lot of people have moved to South Sudan because of the current war in Sudan. And also like even during the split, not everybody was technically split. Like our people, like the Darfurians, the people in Blue Nile, South Kordofan, the people that still look like us are still part of Sudan politically and are still facing the same types of things that we faced. So, I just kind of wanted to touch on that, but I guess we should start more recently with the recent attacks that happened in El Fasher. And do you guys want to start there, or should we really start from the beginning? Because we could really go back to like the split.
I mean, like if we're being honest with ourselves, like the thing about the RSF and what they're doing right now is the continuation of like ethnic cleansing that they did before during the Civil War, and it's to get rid of that specific area of the non-Arab population, and that's the most terrifying part about it. Is like a lot of us Sudanese will not have that conversation about it, and we don't want to acknowledge it, right? Which is like this has to do with anti-blackness in the root of
Hmm.
it, and people will say, "Oh, it's religious," but yeah, it's religious. You could say it has religious connotations to it, but Black Muslims are being killed just as much as Black Christians. And at the end of the day, the RSF and the Sudanese army were both complicit in the same genocide that started in 2005 in Darfur, and they're continuing the same thing right now. And that's the problem. Is like with this war, there is no winners that you can, as a citizen, be comfortable with. It's like, yeah, the Sudanese army wins, but they still are the same. They still hold the same ideologies, and that's the
Yeah.
most fearful part about it, and that's the scariest part about it. So I don't know what can fix this, and that's the scariest thing about it is like, can you go back to a place that you used to call home, and what do you do, and how do we rebuild after this when it's still going on in front of us, and the rest of the world doesn't care? I remember somebody pointing out, it's like this is probably what happened when it was in Rwanda, and when they were watching people just being murdered in front of them, and the rest of the world stood quietly by because as citizens we feel like we can't do anything about it. But
Right. Emmanuel, somebody said, or Chima said, can you spill the info, educate us on Sudan for Sudanese listeners for non-Sudanese listeners who probably are not familiar. So, do you want to educate us on kind of like how we even got here? I know it's layered, but like maybe kind of just a summary.
well, I mean, we could pretend like it started with the Sudanese protests that were happening when they got rid of Omar al-Bashir, right?
In
And
2021.
2021, right, when they got rid of Omar Bashir, and the two, actually, because I think you know more about it with Sarah, with uh, the
So
RSF
we
and the Sudanese.
so
Hmm?
we did a podcast on it with Dr. Nizreen, who actually studies this as a professor at the University of Canada. But essentially, the way that she broke it down to us was that in 2021 there was like a revolution, the Sudanese revolution, where the Sudanese society wanted democracy, so they no wanted to be under the dictatorship of Omar al-Bashir. And so they actually were successful in the revolution and they got him out of office. However, there was the transition. the transition happened, like the transition, there's like a transitional government that happened, which were pretty much the same people that worked in the government. So there was two factions. There's two factions. There's the SAF, which is the Sudanese Armed Forces, and then the RSF, which is the Rapid Support Forces, who is Mehdi. I think Hamedi is the in charge, the head of that, and then Al Burhan is the head of the SAF. And so they're pretty much fighting. They're really fighting for power over the country, and they're being funded by outside players, outside sources, such as like Russia. I don't think the U.S. is part. I don't know if the U.S. is part of it. Dubai. I mean the UAE. So they're being funded. This war is being funded by very powerful countries, and they're literally using. They're just literally selling the country and enriching themselves. And the people, the regular everyday citizens, are pretty much being like shields, like human shields, for the benefit of these two leaders. So if I missed anything, please let me know. But that's kind of like my mini breakdown of what's happening in Sudan right
Yeah, a
now.
lot of people are saying it's a civil war, but it's really not a civil war. Like when you
A
were
proxy
saying,
war.
yeah, it's a proxy war, and there's a lot of people that have interest in Sudan, which are funding the war. And basically, they're siphoning Sudan's resources, like the gold. That's a big thing. That's why people are saying boycott the
Mm.
UAE, and countries like that, because they're basically stealing all of Sudan's resources. They are fighting for power. And yes, both the RSF and the SAF, yeah,
Mhm.
are both like need to be held accountable. But as recently, I'll say the RSF has kind of escalated things a little bit to the point where they're blatantly, it's like an ethnic cleansing almost of these tribes that they're basically trying to kill off because they don't align with the main tribe that started like the Jinjuit or the RSF in the first place. Um, but yeah, both the army and the RSF both are need to be accountable for war crimes, but I would say the RSF is doing a lot, like a
Yeah.
lot worse.
And I think it's
Um,
because they're being funded, because they're getting the most
right.
funding by the UAE. So they're able to do the most damage. But some
Well,
people
I mean, both
say,
both
uh-huh.
sides are getting both sides are getting funded by the
Yeah,
UAE.
they're both being funded by
Oh,
the outside interests that both have interest in Sudan, because Sudan has so much fertile land that they don't have in their part of the world, which is why they're coming south, because we have like Sudan can feed most of Africa by itself if, you know, the land was like if we were able to farm and do what we need to do. Not to mention the gold, which is all the gold that you see over there that they're flexing with and making so much money off of, that is all Sudan's gold. So
because
it really is not a civil war. It's
they don't
based,
have any gold mines.
yeah, the countries that are funding this war, they're doing it because they have a direct interest in Sudan. So it's not a civil war.
Yeah. And I guess like how it kind of ties in to like South Sudan, because we were when we talked about this with Dr. Nazneen, she was saying like, when South Sudan was trying to split and become a separate country, we were fighting for kind of the same exact things that they are now fighting for, or what they were fighting for during the revolution, which was like, a democratic society,
Hmm.
us being able to control our livelihoods and not be
Equal
second class citizens,
representation,
equal
right?
representation. So it's like so reminiscent, and I really think that we got to this place right now in Sudan is because of like the lack of accountability. And like nobody was ever held accountable for the atrocities that happened in South Sudan. And then the people that contributed to genocide in Darfur and of the South Sudanese is now the RSF. Like it's the same people. It's the same like power structure. You know what I mean? And so they kind of like were legitimized in the government through the government. And then now they're doing the same exact thing. It's like repetition. They're still doing it. So I think I know this kind of sounds like we're going everywhere. So let us know, if y'all need some clarity. We're not experts in this field. This is just kind of like from like what we picked up in our knowledge. But I just really feel like if this situation was addressed back during like when South Sudanese people were fighting for our self-determination or our rights, I feel like I don't think that Sudan would be in this spot right now. Because it's just like literally it's the same exact thing. Like the story is not ending. And just to get into the recent genocide in Darfur. A few days ago, the RSF committed El Fasher, which is a northern part of Darfur, which I believe is like a strategic area or like an area that they've been trying to get. And it's, I don't know, I just got emotional for some reason, but went door to door and were executing families and burning villages, and the amount of like violence was so bad that you could see the blood of the Darfurians in space from space. I don't know if you guys read that. Like you could actually
Yeah.
see them. You could actually see the blood pools in
Yeah,
like in
I saw it. And
yeah,
the hospital too, where they went and killed everyone in the hospital. Like
yeah,
hospitals are supposed hospitals, churches, mosques, whatever, those are supposed to be safe zones, you know. And I don't know if they're patients, hospital workers, even people that probably went there to seek refuge were killed. And it's the videos that are online that they're posting. I can't even watch it because it's literally so barbaric. There's that one guy, what is his name, Lulu or whatever his name is, who was like self-proclaiming that he wanted to kill like 500 people was his goal, but he's surpassed that. And it's just like demonic. Like
yeah,
the way that they're lining up people and just executing them is, and it's so bad. And I just like the silence is
y-
definitely that this
yeah,
is really being posted on social media websites, and it's like no one cares. And I'm seeing a few comments from,
yeah.
I don't know, USA or whatever.
Oh
If
yeah,
you don't want to care,
I
yeah,
saw his
that's fine.
comment.
But this
I
is for the
saw
people
his
that do.
I wasn't sure if I wanted to even address his comment because it was negative. He said something about like no one
We
like
live away and
we
enjoy
don't really
life.
care, like we don't really care about what's happening in Sudan because we're living in the comfort of the US.
The
If we
only
didn't
people who
yeah,
have cared about what's been going on is Sudanese in the diaspora who have been contributing and trying to bring attention to this since the war has broken out. I know personally, my mom and a lot of people that I know in the community are constantly trying to send money. I remember when the war first broke out, there was times that we
yeah,
couldn't even get through to our family because the phone lines were down. Sending money was like no point because how are they going to get the money, you know? How are they going to like access the money? So it was very scary not being able to get in contact with your family members, trying to send help, constantly sending money, trying to get them to pack up and like move to this area, like trying to help them find safety, you know, like the families are displaced. Imagine not knowing where your husband is, if he's dead or alive. Imagine not knowing like where your family is. Like that is horrific. And that's what people have been dealing with. And if you don't want to care, that's fine, but this needs to be like amplified and brought attention to because now it's literally a famine to where people are starving to death. Not to
yeah,
mention being slaughtered and murdered, that's separately, but like they're not even allowing aid to be brought in. I think recently there was some guys who were caught trying to smuggle like rice and some other things and they killed them.
oh
So
yeah,
that just shows you kind of where they're at, like to the point where even people who are trying to bring in aid and bring in food to help feed people are getting killed. That's how barbaric it is.
yeah. And Emmanuel mentions like the racial element that that kind of plays a role into this, and it is kind of complicated because I know that this whole conflict is very very layered, so it's not just one thing that's causing the conflict. Like we said, like there's foreign interests that are funding this war, and which is further complicate that are actually further complicating the war because they're playing the whole divide and conquer game, and it's working, and people are funding their pockets. And then there's like the Arabization of Sudan, which has caused I guess I don't know how to word it, but I guess it's caused some like racial division between the indigenous African tribes and the Arab tribes, and how Black Sudanese or Black Africans really bear the blunt of like the violence. Like I'm not saying that we're the only ones. All of Sudan is bleeding right now, but there's a reason why like Darfur and in South Sudan, when we were part of Sudan, and like Blue Nile, the areas that are predominantly like indigenous, really see a lot of violence. And Emmanuel kind of touched on that. So um, go ahead, Emmanuel. I wanted you to kind of speak on that too, because I think you had some points to make. Emmanuel, no, is Emmanuel even? Emmanuel, go ahead. We can't hear you.
I think we lost him. He's probably
Oh, we
gonna
lost Emmanuel.
join
Okay.
back.
Yeah, I wanted to kind of touch on that.
You're right. Yeah,
Mhm.
because same thing with like what South Sudanese were complaining about. The people like in the Western region are
My
saying
bad.
like, oh, there he is.
Emmanuel, okay,
Okay,
go ahead.
so I was gonna say, a lot of it we have to have like a conversation about like racial dynamics in Sudan are very different than the United States, and I think that's one aspect that the rest of the world doesn't really understand, which is like a lot of like what some people perceive as lighter skinned black people would consider themselves Arab, right? So you can be both black and Arab, and that's where a little bit of the beef can start. Also religious, and so the RSF and
The
the
SAF.
SAF all have like an ideological difference when it comes to what they perceive as like the true Arabs and like the true Muslims over there. And the Arabization of Africa is another aspect to it. So all of these things put together, and a lot of people wouldn't
A perfect
understand,
storm.
yeah, understand the colorism. It's so much stuff involved in it that when people first touch it, they're like, is it just this? Is it just this? No, it's everything put
It's
together.
everything.
That's really what it is. And the truth is the people who love and respect each other as black people and all that stuff are the ones that are going to be most affected by it because they don't align with the main ideology of the main group and the people who have the power to be able to do something about it. That's
Yeah.
why we fought for so long. I mean, I also want to point out that like when old boy was talking about how like why should we care, I think a lot of it has to do with media conditioning because Sudan and South Sudan have been the faces of like suffering in Africa for so long and in media that a lot of people are desensitized to even our own like suffering. Like from the episode we had the conversation about the photograph with the little Sudanese girl starving, and people for years since 2005 they haven't stopped talking about Sudan. It's just everybody has gotten to a point where they look at our suffering as just Sudan's suffering again. That's that's always what's happening. Like those starving Sudanese children, those people doing, and it's always been the same thing. This famine has been going on since I think it's been 4 or 5 years. It's been a level 5. Like I think Gaza just got to it a couple of months ago, which obviously free Palestine. But like the world has a tendency to when they look at us, they don't get to us until it's like, oh, the blood has gotten bad. Now everybody wants to talk about it because it's a trending topic and we can get money to it. But like we said, we've been talking about it for so long that it kind of feels like screaming into the void,
Yeah.
and it's been like that our whole lives. Like we can admit to it. People have been asking me about Sudan since I was a kid, and
Yeah.
eventually, when you were talking about, you have fatigue, but there is
We
no
can't we
fatigue
can't
when you
afford it.
realize,
We can't afford it no more. Like
yeah, like
it's a humanitarian crisis. But the reason why identity I feel like plays a big role in like the conflicts in Sudan is because like I think Dr. Nizmeen talked about this when we in the previous episode. Like Al Bashir was part of like creating this identity, this idea of what Sudan is, which is like Arab and Muslim, and like he instead of it being like multicultural and like really embracing the diversity of of Sudan and the Black indigenous people, it was like no. So this is what Sudan is. This is the ideals of Sudan, and which caused a lot of conflicts, which caused us to separate because we were treated as second class citizens. So I think some people are like, why do people talk about race and identity at a time like this? Like, like we could talk about that later, but I think it plays a huge role into the conflict because a lot of it stems from like from identity and from
I think that
who's able to
supersedes
deserving.
religion even.
Hmm.
The that supersedes the religion aspect of it.
Yeah, because it's like who's able to receive like equal treatment based on their identity. And a lot of people, like a lot of people consider, remember Christine, you asked that question, like, does Sudan consider itself an Arab country? A lot of people consider themselves to be Arab for just to get certain privileges, for social
Yep.
standings, for
Mhm.
so it's intertwined into this whole conflict.
And it's
And
not
so
just skin color, it's like hair texture, like your facial features, your nose, things like that too that play into it. And you're right, the more Arab adjacent you are, like people, even if they didn't have like a family member that's Arab, they'll lie and be like, "Oh, my grandfather was like from Saudi Arabia,"
yes.
or
Yeah.
whatever,
Or
just because.
even the skin bleaching. Our
Right.
aunties used to do that down. Like, we don't I don't see that no more, but
I was actually looking through my pictures the other day, like for and it's like the white
yeah.
face with the black body, like, but not to be funny, but that's like a perfect example. We all know it if we have
Yeah.
family, because
Yeah.
that's like the standard. Like you want to be as
Yeah.
light as you can.
You want to look like
Um,
you're from the north. Like, you want to look like
exactly.
you're from
You want to
Khartoum. Like,
pass, like
yes.
you could be.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just, and that's the thing, it's like the Arab elite, the people who were having the power in the country all this time and in the government, now what they're saying in the western region is like same thing we're saying in South Sudan. There's no development, like they didn't develop anything in the western part. All of the infrastructure and everything was just done in the north, in the capital, where the elites are, and then all of the other groups of people, like there was nothing ever done for them, they were basically ignored. So it's, and when you look at them and some of the tribes there, they are African phenotype people. They're not
Hmm.
Arab. So even now when they're doing the killings, you can see who they're targeting.
Yeah.
It's like they're targeting these tribes. So
Yeah. Yeah. Chima said, so South Sudan is predominantly Christian and Sudan is predominantly Muslim as of now.
yes.
Yes. And I think with the Muslim conversation, we have to also point out that like even in the '90s, Omar al-Bashir kind of opened up this ideology of like fundamentalist like Muslim like ideologies into Sudan in general, and he kind of pushed it with his alliance with like I think the Muslim Brotherhood and bringing even our boy who was taken out by SEAL Team Six, our boy what's his name,
What?
Osama bin Laden,
Uh-huh.
when we had bin Laden in Sudan for a little bit. And I think people forget at how much they've had interactions. And all of these generals that are in the RSF and the SAF um, were tied with him. So even when the people got rid of him, like at the end of the day, the power vacuum led to others who had just as weak of what's called egos, and it's causing the situation that's happening now.
Somebody said, y'all are under Arab Muslim invasion. Only way it will stop is if different sub-Saharan countries stand together to face the Arabs.
But yeah,
Okay,
Emmanuel, what you were saying, even with
I don't
Osama
know.
bin Laden, like
Maybe.
how he was hiding in Sudan, I feel like that also contributes to why like maybe America or certain Western countries are not so quick to jump and get involved. Like Sudan has been on the terror watch list for a while now. So Sudan is not necessarily one of the countries that is in favor, like the West is in favor of right now. And that's why I've been trying to kind of rationalize, why is it like as if nothing is happening, right? Like there's been no mention of it. There's no, like Trump just spoke out for Nigeria, but I'm like, okay, I was wondering, is he
Well,
gonna say anything about
that's
Sudan?
that's
because
because Trump
they're
caused this.
benefiting.
He caused the famine. I mean, he didn't cause the famine, but he took away U.S. aid. So people forget that like the biggest contributor to like Sudanese aid was the United States. And so when Trump did all these cutbacks for not even Trump, Elon Musk, we'll call it like it is. When he did all these supposed cutbacks and saying that like, oh, we're giving away money to foreign countries and all that stuff in the United States, well, those were just starving kids and the people in areas like Sudan, and that is a direct result of it. And these deaths can be contributed to that. Now, obviously, it's not the U.S.'s fault, and they don't have to send aid, but at the end of the day, you have to call it what it is, and that's the truth of it. Is once Trump got in office, he had no care for Sudan or any of the countries who were in these situations.
Yeah. Somebody asked, why did they commit genocide in El Fasher, and I had to look it up, and it's just a strategic area. Uh,
Yeah, I think it's like the
it's-
capital of, I forgot what the name of the state is, but it is like a very strategic city for that
mhm,
area. So them capturing it is a very big deal. And
mhm. And
um
it says they killed 14,000 civilians were killed through bombing, starvation, and extrajudicial executions. Wow. Oh no, this happened more than half a year ago when 14,000 civilians were killed. Um, there's not like a number on how many people were killed, but it was like to the like hundreds of
It's like a
thousands.
power struggle. Both of them are basically fighting for power over the country. Like, who is going to get control over Sudan, right? So at this point, where the people are at the mercy of these two leaders who are basically fighting it out to, and it's crazy because before they were actually working together to bring down Bashir, and then after they succeeded in doing that, then they kind of basically split off, and now they're both fighting for power. But I think also why maybe the US or other countries are not jumping to get involved is it's not just like a Sudanese conflict or civil war like they're saying. There's so many different groups that are involved in it to where I think it complicates things a bit more to just,
And
just rush
and I
in and
think
fix
it's
it.
like they all exactly like they can't speak against their allies.
Right.
Essentially, a lot of their allies have their hand in it as well. And
I'm wondering if
so,
they're going to bring like some sanctions against the UAE or I
you know,
think
they're
if
not
the
going to do that.
US I know if the US did get
Yeah.
involved, I feel like they would be able to like not solve or help at least stop the killings and allow like the airport to be opened again and allow for people to try to like go back home or rebuild. Like it's so many people are displaced.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think we have to have a genuine conversation and say like, I don't think we should look for the U.S. to help us, like in general, because like the way that the war, especially when it's Sudan, it looks like it's like the rest of the world is going to ignore it until it gets to the situation where it needs. Because we've seen what happened in Gaza, we see what's happening in Sudan right now, and I think we have to be brutally honest with ourselves and not pretend like this administration is something we should ask help of, and we should look towards.
Jeremy said that. Jeremy was like, that should not be the solution. Trump
Yeah,
should not be the solution for that.
Right,
Yeah.
but at this point I'm like, well, somebody has to do something because it's it's like
Well,
Sudan is falling, and I guess that is the goal because then they can rush in and steal all of the resources. And South Sudan had the oil, Sudan has the gold, they have the land that's fertile. These countries that are having a play in what's going on, they don't have like the resources that we have, right? So that's probably why they're looking at Sudan, which is a little further south, as somewhere where they can come in and get access to like the agriculture, be able to grow food. Because I think the UAE, like they import in most of their food, their land is not like suitable for agriculture, but we have one of the most fertile lands. We have the gold as well. So I just, if it's not going to be the US, I don't know who it's going to be, because when I say the world has been silent, like everyone's screaming free Palestine, of
yeah.
course, and all these things, but it's like for Sudan, it's been silence, crickets.
Look who it is. Tyrek, hello. Oh
Live in Sudan right now.
my gosh. What do you have to say to this conversation? What do you have to contribute? Or you
Nah, I
just
don't.
joining right now?
Nah, I don't have anything to contribute right now.
Okay, you don't have nothing to say yet. Okay, okay. I thought you joined because you was like you had to say something like real quick. Okay, you're just
Nah.
joining just to join. Okay, well you'll contribute. There's comments up here
Yeah,
that you might
hold
be
on,
able to
hold
answer.
on,
Oh,
hold
so
on.
somebody asked, what does Russia have to do with it? Well, there's certain mercenary groups that are in Sudan, uh, from different parts of the world, whether it's from Colombia, Venezuela, uh, and I think some of the Russians also are over there.
I
So
think Russia is with SAF, from
yeah,
my understanding.
so
Yeah,
a lot of these people have special interests invested in specific leaders, so they're going to be fighting for each side.
yeah. Oh, and what was I gonna say? A lot of people I see one solution that people are doing, a lot of Sudanese people are doing, are is boycotting the UAE, which is not traveling there, not spending, adding to their tourism. That's something that I have seen, because the more money you put in their pockets, the more money you're giving to them funding the war in Sudan, which is going to cause more devastation. I don't know how affected. I don't know like too much about it, like how, because I'm sure a lot of experts have studied it and know like what they're doing, but it's just something that I have seen. So I remember when Christine, somebody asked us to go to Dubai. I was like, oh no, I don't know about right now because of the situation. I don't, because like I was hearing
Feel like
about
we
how they
shouldn't
were
fly
funding.
Emirates. We shouldn't be going to
Yeah,
Dubai. We shouldn't be.
and
Yeah,
I love Dubai. I love Dubai, but
it's crazy when you think about
yeah.
like the way they flexed in the gold, and it's like that's our gold. Like that's.
Yeah, and like this whole situation, like the devastation that's being caused, and how they're literally funding it, and nobody's saying anything about it. Yeah, that's something that like you're gonna have to like really consider before you travel over there. So
I mean,
yeah,
if we're being honest, we should have had this take for a long time, since even before this situation. Because I mean, the UAE, if we're being honest with ourselves, was not built strictly off of that oil money, but there's another
yeah.
thing called slavery that we have to be honest about that goes down over there,
And I
and a
heard
lot
their
of people
oil
don't
is running,
mention.
starting to run a little low.
Talk
So
about the
that's
slavery,
why they.
Emmanuel.
Well, I mean, we gotta talk about, okay, is it the Khalifa system where people are coming in with their passports and they're getting them taken away, and you kind of have forced labor where you have to earn your ability to go back home, and this happens with a lot of South Asian and East
Oh yeah,
Africans from the continent, and I think a lot of people forget that, especially in areas like that, EAU, I mean UAE, Qatar, and most of that area that's rich in oil. And I think most people don't like to have these conversations because it can get very Islamophobic, as they call it. And sometimes you just gotta take out a wound and clean it the way it needs to be cleaned. And these are conversations that should have been had for a long time, but they kind of wash over it. For example, Saudi Arabia does the same thing where they kind of wash over their situation with sports, with buying different teams, with being like, "Oh, come over here. We have all this stuff that you can do that's fun in Dubai," but like, there's always something darker behind it.
yeah. So what other solutions do you guys think?
I think Willie made a
Yeah.
comment. You want to read his comment?
What did he say? I didn't see it.
I can't.
Oh, you can't add it to stage.
Uh.
I can't. Brian has said, "Why are we talking about Palestine? Can we focus on Black issues?" Oh, hold on. It's a humanitarian issue. That's the thing, though. Like, people say the same thing about like Sudan and South Sudan. Like, South Sudanese tell us, like, "Why are you talking about Sudan? Why don't can we talk about South Sudan?" But it's a humanitarian issue. I can't find Willie's comment.
It's okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Pretty Ace said the fact that indigenous Sudanese, both South and Sudanese, have suffered and continue to suffer till this day is eerie. There's literally a prophecy in the Bible that states Sudan will suffer and be punished. Somebody talking about that. Somebody talked about that in the
It's
Bible.
what's going on right now is literally in the Bible. Yeah, I heard that
Hmm.
too.
I heard that. By
This
the
is
way, that
why
reminds me about the spirituality episode. We need to have a spirituality episode
we need
because
to
a
have
lot of people talk about that. Go ahead,
I,
Emmanuel.
I think people are too susceptible to being okay with suffering when they could put a spiritual band-aid over it and they'll be like, "Oh, God predestined us to be suffering." Nobody should be predestined to suffer. Like, come
No,
on, stand
it's
up.
a prophecy. That's what she's talking
I
about.
I have a question though, and I'm not trying to
No.
like be controversial. I have a question. Why is it that all of the people that were saying free Palestine, like nobody has said anything like to that level
I
about
see, I see,
Sudan?
I see a lot of people who say free Palestine, Sudan, Congo. I usually see it all
I feel
three.
like as of the last week since what happened, yes, people have been making videos and stuff, and there's been like a social media push. But before that, I feel like no one has, no Congo, no Sudan. Like people will mention it here and there, but it's not like a movement, especially for Black people. I would
Maybe,
think
maybe it's a
that
maybe it's a racial thing. Maybe it's because it's
No,
like
it's
maybe
it's
maybe people think
finding
like Africa always is in conflict. you
It's
know,
finding the
but
bad guy. That's what it is. Because we didn't know who the bad guys were. Now there's like a focus on UAE. So when you have a focus for the Western side, at least America, Europe, they know a country. They know UAE. Nobody knows RSF and all those
mhm.
militias. It's hard to know. Oh, I'm against. That's why it's good to like put faces on people like that guy who's he got arrested too, Abnur, whatever his name is, and the UAE. So I think if you have a base in a country, it's a lot easier than just talking about paramilitaries and because
Yeah.
that's when you get to that point, be like, oh, these are just Africans fighting amongst each other
Yeah,
instead of
because I mean, I have a tendency to do that too. Like if something is too complicated, I tend to kind of like maybe avoid it because then I don't want to subject myself to having to get to the bottom of it and getting to learn the intricacies of it. But now that like we had Dr. Nazine who kind of educated us on the issue, I feel a lot more like confident in like paying attention to what's happening. So I think if we just educate people or people get more educated, at least on like the players and what it is, because it's a proxy war where there's outside players who are benefiting off of this war and exploiting the country. And there's two leaders that are part of the SAF, which is the Sudanese military, and then the RSF, which is the paramilitary, who are both fighting each other to gain riches and selling the country. So that's a little bit of an simplification, but I think that it kind of gives people an understanding of what's happening. And now
Well,
people can put a face to
also,
the issue.
if you really think about it, the reason why there's been no solution or anything happening is because it doesn't benefit the people who are like, funding this proxy war for Sudan to have peace and be stabilized. They benefit off of the destabilization and what's happening now. So
Yeah.
there's really no rush to bring peace or put an end to this because they're literally benefiting. Like it would literally be to their detriment. So
Yeah, and I think that's why like the Sudanese diaspora is now like trying to boycott certain countries that are funding the war because then it will help. It will be like it they'll actually have something to lose. Like if money's still coming in, they're not going to stop. And like they're making money off of this war, but if we hit them where it hurts their pockets, then maybe they'll be forced to like put an end to this war. So um, I love it. I love that the diaspora is coming up with solutions because Lord knows if you let the leaders do it, they just gonna keep selling the country. And
I think that is a
my
good.
brother told me something that was so freaking sad. He told me that like now that the pyramids, a lot of the pyramids have been destroyed, and like the historical artifacts,
I didn't know
the
that.
I could have cried right then and there
I'm
because
not
our history.
surprised. I mean, all of the monumental buildings. I mean, Khartoum is like decimated. I've been watching videos on YouTube the last few weeks of people who go back and like try to record videos and stuff, and it's terrible. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
mm,
I'm sorry, I'm just reading some of the comments.
Me
I know I
too.
missed a lot. They said I blame this on the Sudanese military. UAE needs to go back to Asia. Oh my goodness. Um, I'm African American. I'm African American. I learned of this by both Dinka and Nuer people on Clubhouse. If people want to know, they will find the info. That is, oh, I'm sorry, let me show that on stage. Yeah, so I agree with that. If you want to know, you will find out. Some of the artifacts have been sold in South Sudan. Oh, really? So they're in South Sudan? Oh, okay. Yeah, so it's heartbreaking, you guys, and
I
it's
think
like,
that's something we can do right now is boycott these countries. Um, as far as anything else, I really don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. I
it's
mean,
the history being, yeah, because if you destroy all of Sudan and you are like bombing areas indiscriminately. I don't know if they're doing it indiscriminately or they have like a certain
they're
agenda, but
killing women, children, raping women. Like, there's no.
yeah, like you're destroying the entire country, and like history is a huge part of like what gives us. what gives us like identity and purpose. Like a lot of people say like, we used to be like, people joke and say we used to be kings and queens, but like we really were like, and we really we really did have like a really strong civilization, and we need like artifacts and proof of that. And so it's really 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 sad, and like destroys the hope and the morale of Sudanese people. So that's really heartbreaking. But more than anything, like you said, Christine, it's about the people and the humans and the humanitarian crisis that's taking place. Like thousands and millions, well, actually millions of people have been displaced and don't have food. There's food insecurity. People are literally starving. And so we're gonna list some resources. I know the Sudan Solidarity Group. They are they're working on, they're a grassroots movement that's working on like sending money back home and like providing food and resources. So we're gonna list that on here. If you guys know of any other resources that are helping Sudan, please list that in the comments. Is there anything else? Oh, you said they did not destroy the pyramids, but they destroyed and stole from the National Museum. Oh,
Yeah, they looted. They looted the National Museum in Khartoum.
that's sad. That's really sad.
Yeah.
Anything else y'all want to
Um,
get off your chest?
yours said, as South
Oh,
Sudan, we are lucky to have had the SPLA. They saved South Sudan from what Darfur has went through for the last few decades.
No, I honestly, I really salute South Sudanese because they've been fighting this same exact issue. And I think that's why a lot of South Sudanese are like, well, that has nothing to do with us. We said this from the beginning. And I'm not saying that I agree with that sentiment, because I think that we all should care about humanitarian issues. But like we were screaming this from the top of our lungs, like, when we were being discriminated against in early 2000s, like when Darfur, like the early 2000s, Darfur has been experiencing genocide. And I remember going to the conference, the Save Darfur conference, with my mom when I was young. And it's like, it's so crazy to think that till this day as an adult, Darfurians are still being bombed and killed and like raped. It's like it's never ending. So
Well, I
I think
was
it's just
speaking to
history repeating
someone,
itself.
and they were saying, like, initially what the RSF was saying is they were kind of standing up and saying, okay, the Arab elite, the people who are in power, like, it's not fair. They're not, like, paying attention to these other tribes. So that was kind of like their pitch or their platform, which is what got people to stand up and like join and stand behind them, because they were representing the groups of people who were being marginalized and not represented. So that's how
Oh, the
they were.
RSF.
Yeah, that's what I was speaking to someone yesterday who was saying that's initially kind of what his pitch was, but then now
But the
he has no
RSF is the
control.
one who
Yeah,
like
it's doing the
executed the
killing.
genocide. They're the ones who
Yeah,
executed
it's
the
doing all the
genocide
killing and
in the
stuff. So
early
it's like,
2000s.
and he has no control over like his men. They're just out here doing whatever, killing, doing,
Yeah.
like, he has no
But
control over
they
them.
but they've been doing that. Like that's what I'm saying. Like the RSF, well, the RSF is essentially the Janjaweed, and the Janjaweed
Yeah,
were the ones who were not contracted, but they were the ones who were committing
mercenaries. Yeah,
genocide in Darfur in the early 2000s, and also committed genocide to South Sudanese. And then they were further legitimized in government because Hemeti was able to be a part of the government after, even
right.
after all of the atrocities that we faced. And then
And it's
now
also
they're committing genocide in Darfur still. So
right.
it's
That's
like,
what my point was. It's like, well, yes, the SAF and the RSF have both like been complicit in doing this, but as of recently, the RSF, I think that was what their platform was. They have veered way off from what that is, and now they're just. But one good point that they did bring up was how like the elites that were like in Khartoum and stuff. This is the first time in the history of Sudan that they've been affected by like
oh yeah.
actually war touching them, right? And all the time South Sudan was used to conflict, was used to killing and war and famine and all that stuff going on. And then, obviously Darfur was, but this is the first time that the elites in that area were actually affected, and they had to like flee to Egypt and other places. But now they're feeling what the rest of the country, especially we're one country, has been feeling all this time. So don't know what to make of that, but
Go
there's
ahead,
that.
Tyreek. I think you
No,
wanted to say something.
no, I wasn't gonna say no. I was just reading. Yeah,
Oh,
good.
okay. Yeah, so yeah, it's bad to the point that everybody's having to face the music. Like it's not something that you can ignore and put in the back burner. And I
And most of
think
these people, they were like nepotism babies. Or like their families like were always in power. They never had to really work. They never had to worry about anything. So
Mhm.
imagine like now you're literally being displaced and touched by war. You no longer have your power, your access. Like
yeah,
most of them have fled to Egypt, and over there, it's like they're begging. Like you know, it's
it's
crazy.
so
Like
crazy. It's
yeah,
crazy. And I saw a
full
picture.
circle.
I saw a video of like the RSF, the Support Forces. If you're just now joining and you're not sure what we're talking about, the paramilitary group that went to Darfur and recently committed genocide or is on the verge of committing genocide. The soldiers are so young.
Mhm.
Like, you don't really think, you don't even realize like this is the youth that they're utilizing.
Well,
And
that's where we have to have that conversation about the paramilitary groups that are coming in, especially with
mhm,
Colombia and all them. Well, I mean, they're training these children. They're training young boys and girls. I mean, young boys to be child soldiers, and they are running with child soldiers. And that's one
yeah,
thing that is talked about. Is like when they're coming in. Obviously, they said that they came from the UAE to Somalian airports, and then they're coming back down to Sudan and literally training these children in military tactics and warfare. So
yeah.
that's why when you look at these kids, they're so young. It's like, yeah, that's the product of what's gonna happen.
That's that's horrible. Isaac said the RSF was the Frankenstein cartoon elite created and went rogue, and now is destroying the country from within. The chickens are coming home to roost.
I agree
It's
100%.
actually true. That's actually true. The panel, Brian said, does the panel believe that Sudan will further partition? I saw,
I've been hearing them talking about
I've been
that.
reading, yeah, I saw like some people say that that's possible, which is which is sad. I mean, they're going to try to like not make that happen because that's like further dividing the country. I don't know that
We're
gonna
just gonna keep
look like.
splitting and splitting and splitting.
Yeah. Pretty A
That's
said,
crazy.
Pretty A said, people in the comments are acting as if it's easy to fight back. You can't just fight back when you're under siege. Just think of it like IDF in Gaza. Gaza can't just fight. Yeah, I mean, the civilians can't fight back against the military forces with all these like guns and resources and being funded by whole entire countries. So there's no fighting
It's
back. And
really
there's like,
what it is.
and it's like as civilians, like, what are we fighting back from? Like, I don't know. Like,
I
we
think
just want to
there's,
live. We
like
just
I
want to
was
live
saying
our lives.
earlier, like, oh, we're enjoying our life. Why don't we go back and fight? That doesn't even make sense. Like,
Not go. Wait. Go back and fight. How was we supposed to go
yeah,
put
he
on?
was like the Sudanese and South Sudanese are abroad or enjoying their lives, and
We're
like,
fighting
why don't
by
y'all go
creating
back and fight for your
supporting
people?
supporting grassroots movements and figuring out how to feed Sudanese people and trying to send money back home. Like that's how we can fight. Well, there's nothing that we can do physically. Also, I meant to say go back. Yeah, but Emmanuel's. We were talking about how young the RSF soldiers are, and I was shocked, but I don't know why I was shocked because they use child soldiers in Africa. Like that's the thing. That's the go-to. But that's devastating. And a lot of them are also from Darfur. And a lot of them are like pastoralists, like they come from like humble beginnings. They're utilizing people that don't have anything already, like they have nothing else to lose. So that's like a real divide and conquer tactic if I've ever seen it. Like really going into like using your own people against you. Somebody,
Yeah.
Kelvin said, "Oh, there's a lot of new faces today." Kelvin said, "Is this wait a
Is this a
Zion? Is this a
Zionist?
Zionist channel?" No, no, we're not that. We are not that.
Oh, we do have to say
Mhm.
the first Ugandese mayor of America just won in New York City. So
Are you
Mom
gonna tell me that you believe that
Mom Donnie,
okay, you funny. I hate
Wait,
this
he
guy who's
won?
so funny.
Mom Donnie just won the mayorship. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He is Ugandese. He was born there, and he claims he's Ugandese. So yeah, go and take a win.
Pretty
So
Ace said, are the men on the panel okay? Yeah, like stop getting off of the camera, please. Stay on camera so we
You
know y'all
can
are
you
safe.
mute? Yeah, mute.
A win is
Okay,
a win.
yeah. All right. Also, like what else? I mean,
Well,
like
yeah, that's in trending news. So he's now officially. I mean, people knew he was gonna win.
give me
He
a
was
second,
projected
y'all.
to win
I'm gonna get more water.
anyways.
See, you should have closed your camera like we did. We trying to be respectful.
So how are y'all feeling about? Did he win like officially? It was called Tark.
Yeah, it's called. Yeah, he won.
Okay.
I'm,
I
I'm
mean,
actually I'm actually super excited because like it's a clear indication of like the country's tired of the political parties that we already have, and I think at a certain point the people need to be able to vote and fight back and give voices to like things that we actually believe in, because let's be honest with ourselves, Republicans and Democrats.
yeah, they're both tone deaf. They both play for the same team. Like,
They
Uh,
need to open the government so that the airports can work properly because I can't keep going through this. So
oh yeah,
that's
it's crazy. We're like 3 weeks into a government
that's my
shutdown, and
plea. And I
nobody
felt so
even noticed.
bad seeing like the workers and stuff. Like they're not everyone today. Like I flew yesterday and today are saying thank you for your service, thank you, because they're not getting paid and they're still at work. You know.
Yeah,
Just call me Brian. So they elected a communist in New York. LOL, just joking. I don't know anything about that, so y'all have to answer that.
I mean, we can sprinkle. He's
he's
more
not a
socialistic.
communist.
He's a
So
little.
This
He's
this
got a
is
little
breaking news,
socialism
so
in
we
him.
should get into it because I mean current
Yeah, talk
events.
to us, please. Educate me because I don't know what's going on in New York. But also, any final thoughts on the whole situation in Sudan? Y'all, like, if y'all don't know how bad it is, if you just now got like tuned in, you could see the blood of Darfurians from space on the space satellites. So you guys can look that up if you want to, but that's how violent and how serious and how much we're bleeding, how much Sudanese people are bleeding. And so just wanted to, make sure that everybody understands like the gravity of the situation because it's easy to turn a blind eye. But when I saw that and I heard that, it's like, we have to talk about it.
But there's so
Also,
many
somebody
creators
asked
that
us,
are.
oh yeah, go
Uh,
ahead, sorry. No, no, go
There's
ahead, go
so
ahead.
many creators that are creating content as of the last week or two. So if you are interested, I've been watching a lot of videos the last few days. If you are interested in educating yourself on what's going on, it was even confusing for me. And I have family directly that lives there. And I was trying to get an understanding too. So there is a lot more information
Hmm.
out there. If you do want to educate yourself and get a better understanding of like the two groups, the RSF, SAF, the UAE, Dubai,
Identity.
everybody who has a part that's playing and what's going on. So I would say that and then bring more attention to what's going on. And I would say boycott the UAE for sure. I think and then we need to put more pressure on like our representatives to bring this issue to a forefront. I know some of us on the panel said that like there's nothing or maybe the US's
Can you
involvement
hear me?
won't help. I can hear you now. But I mean, something
No.
needs to
Oh
be
no.
done.
Hold on.
I can hear you, Sarah. Pretty Ace said, final thoughts. The world is a mess right now. Hurricanes, ethnic cleansing, and Erica Kirk just a mess. I'm screaming.
Oh, golly. Y'all, I don't know if y'all can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can
No.
hear you, Sarah.
Yeah, we can hear you,
yes,
Sarah.
Okay, sorry. Somebody calls me and I'm using my phone. I need to put my phone on Do Not Disturb, but we're on live. But somebody called me and messed up my whole situation. So I'm sorry, y'all. Somebody said the
Weary
weird.
Traveler.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, read it.
No, you can read it, please. I got to get myself back situated.
whose smoke alarm is that?
It might be mine. I think I need to put my battery, get a new battery.
Lord have mercy. We are never beating that reputation, man.
Thank you. Doron
Yeah.
Elisha says, where are the protests? Is the Western world there? That is the question we've been asking for the last hour. I just want to know where's the same energy. So I agree.
I think the truth is like they don't have a clear definition for a bad guy because like kind of everybody's the bad guy in this situation. So for them, it's like Africans killing Africans. At least with what's happening in Gaza, they have a clear enemy to speak about, and there's a clear agenda to go through. And I think a lot of the things that people forget is like with wars and stuff like that, they need they need they need to be able to spin it into their own politics and be able to stir up the kind of division they want in their nation and to be able to use it politically for their own
There's two of you.
situation. Because how is
Sarah,
something
what do
gonna
you got going on over there? There's like two.
I'm so
what
sorry, y'all. I should turn my camera off like the boys, but go ahead, y'all. I'm sorry. I had to get resituated because somebody called me, messed up my whole audio. Oh, I'm sorry.
But
I
yeah,
couldn't
I
hear
think that
nothing.
that'll wrap up
Uh,
the segment on Sudan. We'll keep talking about it as new things come up, but obviously pray
yeah.
for Sudan and help bring awareness to what's going on as best as you can. Jeremy said, in my mind, Arabs against Africans.
I used to think like that too, but I think it's a little bit more nuanced. My favorite word.
yeah,
It's a lot more layered.
it's a lot more layered than that because like what's happening with for example Israel right in Gaza, the UAE is back in Israel and also Saudi Arabia rocks with Israel. So like people think that it's just one group versus another group, but it's always more layered. It's follow the money and you'll figure out who's with who.
It's a proxy war. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the world against Africans. Sometimes it feels that way, right? Like
Because
it
we
really
have the
sometimes it feels that
resources
way.
that they need. So they have to create instability so that they can be able to siphon these resources and gain access to it. If Sudan has peace, then they're not going to be able to do what they need to do for their own survival. So, of course, they benefit off of what's happening right now.
I mean, if we're being honest with ourselves, what's happening in Africa, you can parallel that to any South American country, and you'll figure out pretty quickly what the game plan is. What's happening with Venezuela and Nigeria, and all this stuff parallels each other, and you kind of figure out, oh, that's where we're headed with this.
Yeah, I mean, if you cause chaos, it's easier to like plummet the country and extract. You can't do it when it's peaceful and perfect. You have to do it when it's chaotic. And that's why I'm very proud of like a lot of the scholars and the Sudanese scholars that have actually studied this whole thing and are really able to, I guess, like verbalize what's happening and talk about the different layers that's contributing to this war because they're really the ones that we learned from is like like not even just the scholars, the people that are on the ground too, and utilizing TikTok, utilizing social media and Twitter to talk about what's happening and like give share resources. So learn a lot said any country with resources. Yes.
I think also there needs to be more images like from the people like shared to the world because I think that's what helped with like the Palestine conflict was sharing like actual video pictures
Yeah.
of what's happening so to bring attention because social media has been such a godsend and like bringing awareness, but I think maybe it's like a cultural thing too where we don't want to like record people or like take video of people in their worst moments, but the world needs
Yeah.
to see that it's those
Yeah.
images that are horrific that will like garner some type of emotion or get people like I don't know, like get people involved. But because
Yeah.
maybe they're not seeing as much until just recently this last week, that's when you see like that family with the lady who was holding her three babies that got killed. Like that really struck a nerve with people. But
Yeah.
that's
I
happening
saw
every
that.
day. That's been happening the last 2 years. So we need to get more of these images out to the world so they can literally
And
see
And
what's
and
happening.
what is the reason? Maybe y'all can answer this, and even everyone in like the comment. What is the reason for them to record that? Like the soldiers, why are they recording that?
It's
Like
good.
you're
Let them keep recording it
and
because
yeah,
people
it
need to
is,
see
but
what
it's
they're
like, why are
doing.
you showing your
As
violence? Like,
horrific as it is, they need to, Sarah, because I feel like when people talk about it and say, oh, people are getting killed, there's a genocide, it goes over people's head because we already have our own
yeah,
problems that we're facing over here. Like there's a hurricane that happened in Jamaica. There's constantly stuff going on. So if you just say, oh, there's a genocide in Sudan, no one cares. When you are
yeah,
showing like people being unalive, like women, children, like I feel
yeah.
like that hits different.
Yeah, no, I understand the people on the ground like recording and showing what's going on. What is the end goal for the soldiers? Like it's I see the soldiers showing themselves. They're proud of what they've done. You know what I'm saying?
Because most of
What
them are
I
like
guess it's the
psychopaths.
indoctrination. Go ahead.
No,
I'm sorry.
it's like a mental, like a lot of them are like psychopaths. It's like those people who do like serial killers who take photographs of their victims. It's they want to relieve that pleasure they have unaliving somebody. So a lot of the people, war is not a it's not for the right-minded people. It's usually people that are out there that are
Pretty Ace
gone.
said, I guess it's for humiliation tactics and to show that they are powerful and no one can stop them. Yeah, it could be to intimidate, truthfully. Like, this is what we're doing, so you better oblige or can happen to you. But yeah,
Like
I
that
mean,
new
It's
guy.
like even like right here with ICE like releasing videos of them capturing kids and separating mothers from their kids. And then they put it on commercials. It's just that tactic. It's like you want they find some type of relief from it, and they also want to intimidate
yeah.
others about it.
Christine talked about how she's been impacted by the war, how her family's been impacted by the war, because she has family that lives in Sudan. I have some family that lives in Sudan as well, but not really a lot. Most of my family is back in South Sudan. So I was just curious, like, has any of y'all have any of y'all been affected by the current war in Sudan? Because even though we're two different countries, we're still so close to each other that there's going to be a lot of spillover when it comes to the consequences of this war. And Tyra, you have a lot of people in Khartoum, right?
Yeah, I have a lot of half brothers and half sisters that live there,
Yeah.
uncles that live there, aunties. My sister moved to Uganda, so she's not there no more. But there's still a lot of people. But most of them is they they fled to Umdurman. No, not Umdurman, but Port Sudan. So they're over there, which
What
is a
about you?
little bit safer.
What about you, Emmanuel? Because Emmanuel, you got to stand up for your people. You are in a contested area of Sudan. Your people are the Abyei people are in that like literally in the one of the most contested areas. I bet you the spillover is crazy. So,
I mean, surprisingly, not really, because I mean, Sudan is going to protect, or South Sudan is going to protect their oil, so
hmm
they're not going to really allow too much stuff like that. It's more inter-tribal fighting. But I will say that my mother's side of the family, my grandmother who passed away a couple weeks ago, she had to move, um, and after that, I mean, she wasn't really the same. Like she stopped eating for a while, and then she kind of got a lot sicker, and that's when my mom
I
had to
know.
go to her, and then that's when she passed. All her sisters, my half sister is over there with her and her kids, so we kind of had to migrate all of them, and for like a 3 month period, we didn't know where they were, and we were kind of like with Christine, like sending money over there, trying to figure out how to get them transported because my grandmother couldn't walk, and that whole time period, I think, is just it was all stress, and it's kind of like that. You get on autopilot as you hear more news about it, and you kind of hold your breath, waiting for the news of like, oh, your whole your whole mom's side of the family is dead, or they made it home safely, and they were able to make it home
Oh my
safely to South
gosh.
Sudan. And it's one of those things where like I don't know, man. When I think of Sudan, South Sudan, I always get this like glaze over my head, and I just kind of like, you know, yeah, it's just it's. I always think of it as the same thing where it's like what bad news am I going to hear now, or what do I need to go fix with my money? I think that's the two things that I think about when I think of home, and that's a
Yeah.
bad way to look at it, but that's
Yeah.
been mostly my mentality.
Yeah. Because even South Sudan, we have our own issues, and I didn't want to sound like unsympathetic in the beginning or insensitive. That's what I'm looking for when I talked about like having to fatigue or like conflict fatigue or war fatigue. It's just like just being South Sudanese, we also have experienced like decades of civil war as well. And so when we finally feel like, oh, okay, we're our own country, even though we still have conflicts in the country,
I
it's
mean,
like
we're bordering a conflict right now with
yeah,
South Sudan.
then like, but then adding on to the Sudanese
Yeah.
conflict, like the Northern Sudanese conflict, sometimes it is like, oh, like it's a lot, and you want to like get away from like devastation, like war crimes. You want to get away from hearing that. And I'm from the diaspora. I mean, my parents experienced like more than I can even imagine, but just even from like hearing their stories, I feel like it just really impacts you, and it really just you kind of want to stay away from hearing. Like sometimes I don't want to watch the news. Like I really don't. I don't. I just don't want to hear about like more people, families being taken out. It's kind of trauma. It's a little like I don't want to be dramatic and say it's like trauma, but it's just a lot. So I hope I didn't sound insensitive in the beginning when I said like sometimes I want to stay away from the headlines because of like just the implications. But it's deeper than that. Like we have to pay attention. It's there's Sudan is bleeding, like the title of this live. Sudan is bleeding. It's a huge humanitarian crisis, probably the biggest in the world, um, and we have to pay attention because you never know when this could be in our doorstep, and we would want somebody to speak out for us, you know?
I mean, it practically is on our doorstep, so we have to worry about what borders that we do have with them, and
Yeah.
whoever does end up controlling the area, it's like, will we get into a situation again? How will we figure out the treaties, et cetera, et cetera? So it's one of those situations.
Yeah. I'm trying to read the comments. Little Cutie said, "Are y'all family members the top of Sudan and South Sudan?"
I
The-
wish I would have been. I wouldn't be here right now. No, we broke. We at the bottom.
well, there's a lot of what's the word when it's like family oriented positions, like you get positions. What's the word I'm looking for? Nepotism.
Yeah, nepotism. Yeah,
Yeah, so yeah. I wouldn't say that. Y'all would answer that?
I tried.
Heck
I
no,
tried, and I couldn't get anything. I was like
I'm from a VA.
disappointed.
If I had family connections, my oil money would be good right now. What you mean?
Yeah, we don't have connections like that. We're not like that. No. Mm-mm.
Ain't no
Mm-mm.
like that either. We don't have zero. I have zero connections. I wish I had connection because like that guy says, when I'm part of the corruption, it's not really corruption.
Well, is there any final thoughts, anybody? Even if y'all in the comments, like we want to hear from our Sosa fam. Like what final thoughts do you guys have?
Oh, this is a
Any
good comment right here.
Mhm.
HGF says South Sudan will get into conflict. Islam is a conquering religion. Once the North Sudan conflict is over, they will eventually go south. What do y'all think about that?
Let me pull it up. Can you read it one more time? For some reason I'm not seeing the comments that you're seeing, Christine. I'm so sorry.
It was like the third comment when he said South Sudan will get into conflict.
We have a lot of comments that I
Me
didn't
too. It's
see.
going by fast, yeah.
Yeah.
But
How do
he's
y'all feel
basically
about that?
saying that because he says Islam is a conquering religion. Once the North Sudan conflict is over, they will eventually move south.
Sounds like Islamophobia to me.
I don't think so. I think that's just his assessment. How do y'all
Christianity is
feel about
a
that?
conquering. Christianity is a conquering religion.
Okay. He didn't say that it wasn't. He's talking about the
Well,
context of our country.
I'm just saying it's about resources, and right now South Sudan doesn't really have resources that
Well, the Islamophobia conversation is
and
not
also
even just in
Uganda,
Sudan. That's happening here too in America.
Uganda's interest in South Sudan is enough to keep other countries from coming in because they do have an air force, which Sudan I don't think has a large air force anymore. So
Okay.
in a way,
For,
Uganda will protect South Sudan.
Pretty A said it is traumatic. South Sudanese have PTSD that is generational, and no one will ever be able to understand it. And we hardly have any mental health facilities. I think the last time we had an episode on this, it was like one mental health facility, but we need more mental health facilities because I agree. Like with the history of war that we had, we need somebody to help us unpack that. Like,
That's generational PTSD. That's
yeah. Like I can't even imagine like how like now that I think about it, I can't even imagine how my dad like lived out like how he just lived his life and just didn't even like have anybody to help him process the civil war because he was part of the war. Like he fought in the war between North and South Sudan. And I can't even imagine
Now
the things that
Sudan's
he
gonna be
saw.
traumatized too,
Sudan's gonna be also traumatized.
unfortunately.
It's really heartbreaking.
yeah.
Somebody else made a comment. I think it was UCA Doc said, Sarah, I get my self-esteem from our ancestors. Of all of USA, America was founded on our ancestors. We created the culture. World music is based off us. Very proud to be ethnic American, the only one. Huh? What did I say? What did I say that had anything to do with that? Did I say something in regards to, I don't know. But thank you for the comment. I no. Um, okay, final thoughts, y'all. Final thoughts. Oh, everybody's final thoughts.
Thank you guys for all the comments.
No,
The
no,
comments
for
are
girl.
booming today. I can't even keep up. The comments are
Yeah.
funny though. I
Oh,
can't see everything,
yeah.
but
The comments were good. Like it was. I thank you guys for all the feedback. It was really, really good to like actually feed off of you guys. You guys really helped us a lot because it's late, and Christine then missed her flight. She just got off a flight and went home, and then put her system together and is on live. So shout out to Christine for literally pulling
I
it
wish I was
together.
home.
Oh yeah, you're the hotel. I forgot. Yeah, you're not even home yet. So dedication,
Are flights
dedication.
still going on? I didn't know. I thought flights were grounded. That's
That's what
pretty.
happened to me. Like because I guess with the shutdown and stuff, they're grounding them so that they can space out the flights that are landing, so they could be able to
Uh,
like man them. So they keep delaying flights that are coming into Houston. Unfortunately, I had to fly into Houston, so. But I think it depends on the airport.
Jeremy said Black people need to focus on the acquisition of power, specifically militaristic power, like the Black Panthers, like so they can do us like the Black Panthers. But you're right, you're not wrong at all. Monetary power, Pan African, very Pan African.
what do you mean do
No,
us like
we're
the
not
black?
related. Pretty A said, "Are you
Are
and
you
Chris? Are you? Are
are
me and
you
Sarah
and Christine
related?"
related, Sarah? No, me and Christine grew up together. Though we're from two different tribes. Christine is Equatorian. Equatorian is like a bander of tribes, but she's from the Equatoria area, and I'm both Dinka and Nuer. So I'm from
Because we
the
grew up in the diaspora, like
yes,
this South Sudanese community in Dallas, like we grew up together, so we would call each other auntie, uncles, each other's parents.
yes.
So it's like
Oh
we all
yeah,
grew up together, but no,
her
we're not
mom,
related.
her mom and my mom used to hang out all the time when we were younger.
Hmm.
They used
Yeah,
to,
so
and they were those girls.
for sure, they still are.
Yeah, they still are. Um,
Sorry,
but
shut up,
yeah,
Tari.
Tara, you hating so bad right now.
Tari, you really missed the smoke today. You lucky that, well, you're not lucky, but the conflict in Sudan, we had to talk about it. But don't worry, we're coming back with the dating segment, okay?
They said same Sarah. Oh, you're Dinka and Nuer? Very, very cool. The two biggest tribes, also the two most hated tribes. So yeah. Well,
Learn a
I don't
lot
think
says
most
shout out
hated.
to Texas DFW. Shout out to the DF Dub.
Yes. Jeremy said, Christine, did you say no to militaristic power?
No, when did I say that?
Y'all want smoke today.
Oh, Lil Cutie said,
It's good.
did you and Tari go on a date yet, Sarah?
Not yet. Tyrick want me to, didn't you say on the last slide that I'm supposed to pay for the date? In South Sudanese culture, women do not pay for dates. Or do we? I don't know. Women don't go on dates in our culture. They just get married. So no, I don't know. So yeah.
Wait, is there is there is this a
Does
courting
anybody want to
process?
sponsor the date?
No, Christine, please.
I'll take a sponsorship, but no,
Whatever.
I'll pay for the date. I'm not that cheap.
Where are we going?
Ooh,
We should.
you
We
gotta put
both
me under
like
pressure
history.
now. Now I gotta come up
Can
with
y'all
a
live
good
stream it
place.
for the
No, we
LOS?
are not live
No,
streaming.
Oh,
no.
okay.
It's this is a workplace conflict. Like me and Ty actually work together on this platform.
Gotta
So,
talk to
No,
HR.
y'all
but
don't.
yes, we do. What do you mean? Eric is literally at this point he a co-host.
Uh,
Bi-monthly, twice a
When,
month.
when the
Right.
hell has that ever mattered?
I just show up when I show up.
That's true.
I'm like a contractor basically.
Yeah.
Emmanuel's a co-host.
Dang, Dev says Sudan is being judged by God. That is a prophecy of Isaiah 18. Okay.
Pretty Ace. Now you dragging it. Pretty Ace said Emmanuel and Christine on a date next.
Y'all stop. We're
Y'all tripping now at this point.
y'all need to. We can go ahead and end the live. Now
Pretty Ace. Now you know you petty as hell. That's hilarious.
Sarah, USA Docs got another comment for you.
Oh
This is our
Oh,
Lord.
last comment.
What'd he say?
I ain't gonna lie.
I'm
That
scared.
Isaiah 18 is hitting though.
Oh,
Can you
okay.
Google it real
Who
quick,
said
Tari?
that?
What is Isaiah 18?
Who
I've
said
got to
that?
see
Dev
what this
Rain?
is.
I don't know if that's
Oh,
a woman
okay.
or a girl. He might have something.
Somebody read Isaiah 18.
Yeah, pull that up. In the meantime, I'm gonna read USA's doc. He said, Sarah, you said you get your self-esteem from African artifacts. We ethnic Americans get our self-esteem from our ancestors. All of our US America was founded on our ancestors, the powerful nation ever, the most powerful nation ever. No, I was saying that we get our self-esteem from our history, which is also our ancestors as well. And so like if we lose our history, I mean, like you need like the artifacts are part of our history. It's not just the artifacts itself. It's just the idea of like who we are and like the proof of our history. So that's what I was meaning. Like that's where we get our self-esteem, because if we just focus on the war and the atrocities and all of these things, that brings you down. But we were people, we were civilization before war, before all the tragic things that are happening to us now. So that's what I meant. And that's beautiful that you get your esteem from your ancestors, as you should. The ancestors fought hard for us to be here. They
You
said
have an
you
Instagram.
just
I'll put
trolling.
it in the chat. Yeah.
He said he's just trolling at this point. You're not remote. But
Right.
now I understand what he was saying, because at first I was like, what are you talking about? But
Before we
no.
leave, can somebody please read Isaiah? What I really got to know what it
I can pull it
says.
up.
Okay.
Let's see.
Send it.
Sorry, I'm on my phone,
But
so I
I
can't.
don't, are y'all really believe that student? I don't even want to speak that
I
on
It
really
us.
want to
sounds
see
like
what
it.
it
I don't
says
know. I
though.
think I think Africa is cursed because we can't get no peace
No, we're
anywhere.
not cursed. We've been
Even
exploited.
God
Tanzania.
forbid.
Tanzania has been like the most stable country, and it's about to go through some issues.
Well,
Like
well
I
What's the
technically,
what's the verse?
think we're
Think Tari put
cursed.
it in the chat.
technically, Rwanda's the most stable right now. You see what they went through. So
Nah, I mean, Rwanda is also doing some genocide in Congo, so I don't want to.
Oh yeah, Christine, you got to put your Insta. Jeremy said, Christine, do you have your own Insta? I seen Sarah's. I didn't see y'all's. Our Instagram is always on in the bio, by the way. Always in the bio if you guys want to. Oh, Ladies of Sosa on Instagram. Follow us on Instagram, Ladies of Sosa on Instagram, because we post
I
some
mean,
things that we don't often post on
it
YouTube.
ends okay. I think Isaiah 18
Yeah.
ends okay. It says, "In that time, a present will be brought to the Lord of the hosts from a people tall and smooth of skin." Sounds like us. A nation powerful whose lands the rivers divide. Sounds like the Nile. I don't know.
I don't know
Sorry,
about that.
Jeremy got smoke for you. I don't know if you want to address it, but
see, that's that same verse my dad used to quote all the time, and I'd be like, dog, if y'all keep speaking these words on yourselves, what do you think is gonna happen if you keep speaking that stuff? Like I always say, the power of
I don't
destruction.
believe it though.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't believe none of that.
I don't believe it.
Well, thank you
USA
guys
Docs,
so
I
much.
really think you're in the wrong.
No, he can be here. He can be here. USA Doc.
I love your
See,
pride for your people, and I love that, but it's not on topic.
yeah,
But
but the thing
thank
is,
you
we
anyway for
agree.
your engagement.
We agree with you. Like,
Yeah, like there's nothing that we can say against what you're saying.
yeah,
So
like I agree. Like, you should have pride in your ancestors. Absolutely. I have pride in my ancestors. My ancestors buried next to each other in the village back home. Like, we pride ourselves on our ancestors.
yeah. But thank you
Yeah.
guys so much for joining in on the conversation. Make sure y'all like and comment, especially those who are watching the replay. And I don't know. Anything final thoughts from the rest of y'all folks?
We doing another TikTok live or are we chilling?
No,
Nah,
not TikTok
man.
live
I
tonight.
just yeah, I'm
Christine went through a whole thing getting to where she's at right now.
listen.
But we hope you guys
Oh,
enjoyed
Willie
this
said,
conversation.
wait. Isaiah 18 says, God will punish Sudan, but later bless its people. We're waiting
Yes.
for the later.
We waiting for the later. We are waiting for the later because we done split.
We've been
Went through
punished.
genocide.
We have been punished
We
for a long
split.
time.
Now they're in war. Now Sudan's experiencing war. Like, when is the
When is
light
the
When's the
gonna?
later?
break?
Yeah.
We're
It's
waiting on that. But
done.
I think we should
Done.
close. I think we should close it out well because this is a serious topic. But
It
yeah,
was.
we just wanted to get on here and touch on
Keep bringing
the
awareness.
yes to the war in Sudan and keep yeah essentially keep spreading awareness because it's a humanitarian crisis. You don't really have to understand the full ins and outs or be an expert on it. Just know that people are bleeding and people are suffering, and people are just people in Sudan have literally lost their entire livelihoods, their entire their day-to-day lives have completely changed due to the greed of certain individuals and other countries that are funding this. So we just wanted to put this in the forefront as South Sudanese neighbors, because we are not Sudanese, but we are South Sudanese now, proudly. But this is the neighboring country that is experiencing war, and it's
Damn.
bleeding. They're bleeding. Go ahead, go ahead, Ty. What do you want to say?
No, I'm saying this dude Jeremy was calling out
I'm about to
Emmanuel
say, Emmanuel, you've been
for
promoting
promoting.
non-black women.
First off, we know that I'm a comedian on
Where's
my
Dr.
channel.
Umar at? Where's Dr.
What
Umar?
did
Wait,
you
wait,
do that?
wait. I'm a comedian on my channel. So when I'm juxtaposition these women, they're jokes. I would never view black women as jokes, so they're not going to be on my channel.
He said
Period.
you put
Emmanuel
them
out
on a
here bunny
pedestal,
hopping.
Emmanuel. Shaking my head.
Are you are you bunny hopping, Emmanuel? The Dr. Umar.
Jeremy said, hold on. He said, he said, comedy don't justify cooning. What
That's
he said.
crazy.
Shots fired.
That's what he said.
Wait, being attracted to other groups of women is considered cooning now? That's crazy. Like,
Yo.
This conversation has taken a turn. Okay, let's just keep. We had a positive conversation.
wait. No,
We're
no, no,
gonna
no,
get
no.
back to cutting up at a later. Okay, go ahead, Meg.
Let
I'll let you
let
respond.
let
Defend
Okay,
Jeremy
yourself.
cook though.
Oh my gosh.
I
Go
do
ahead,
have one
Meg.
question. If you watch these videos that I made, you know that they're tongue in cheek. My question here is, what part of my dating history has ever shown that I didn't love my women?
We don't
That's just
he
crazy.
doesn't know your dating history though.
You know what? I'm okay with it. We'll go with it. Then call me Rocket Raccoon
Yeah.
from now on.
No, no. Emmanuel loves black women. Emmanuel loves black women. He does. He does. Like,
Oh my goodness.
he does. I'm sorry that you saw otherwise. Saw proof of other like anything else,
You know
but
what they say, like once you make some money, you start going to the other side. So I don't know. Emmanuel
Once
might
I
have
make money, you think, oh, watch
a
out?
white bunny on the side now. We don't know.
Nah, I'm gonna go old school.
What Cat Williams
Doctor.
said last time.
Wait, a light skinned woman with a weird face?
but Christine, you was tired as hell.
I
All
am.
right.
Bye,
Well,
y'all.
thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode. We will be back in the
Yo.
studio. We will be back in the studio next Tuesday. The next episode on Tuesday, we'll be back in the studio. And thank you for all. We saw a lot of new view like commentary, so it was really nice
Yeah,
to
does it
kind of
help when we schedule the lives? Like, is that better? Or somebody said we need
yeah.
to. Somebody said, if possible, post some more, y'all, for real. We'll definitely try.
Yes, we'll definitely try to post more and tell us the type of content that you guys want to see from us.
I
You
would say
guys,
Sarah
uh-huh.
do post. Christina don't post nothing. Christina.
I move around too much. I don't know. I just feel like this last year I've been kind of just off social media. I think because of the podcast.
She's trying to give a mysterious aesthetic. You know those people who act
Not
like
even.
Yeah,
they try to be like low
too
key and
cool for
like
school.
nobody
Like,
knows what I'm doing.
Wait,
That's what she's trying to give.
she's like the
Not
weekend of
even
podcasting. I
the
like this
weekend.
one.
Well,
Honestly,
she low key.
once you stop posting, it's hard to start again. You just get comfortable just not posting. It's like if you really like posting, just don't take a break because it'll be very hard to start posting again.
Yeah, I cannot stop posting because we got a podcast to promote.
I'm not gonna lie to
Yeah,
Um,
you.
but I feel
Once
like
that money
because I'm
comes in,
already on the podcast, I just feel like it's already too much. Like if I probably wasn't on the podcast, I probably would post more, but I think
yeah.
just there's just too much going on. But
Amanda, what were you saying?
I'm saying once that money comes in, all of a sudden posting feels amazing.
Okay.
You be trying to post
Yeah.
5, 7 times a day.
No, she's talking about her personal page. Like, yeah, that makes sense. I want to listen. Yeah, your personal page, it is what it is. Our Ladies of Sosa page, oh, we have to post all the time. So we're gonna post more on Ladies of Sosa for sure. We're gonna try
yeah,
to have more
definitely.
content. We have some different segments that we're thinking of. But please let us know what type of topics you guys would like us to discuss. And thank you guys for our familiar faces, Pretty Ace, Chima, Jeremy, and I'm sorry, little cutie. There's a lot of y'all that we always see and that we love and appreciate, and then also our new faces. We want to see y'all more, be a part of the family, be interact with everybody because these are important conversations that need to be had. And sometimes you guys have information that we don't have as well. And so when you share that with us, we're able to like cross reference or kind of bring it up and bring it to the forefront. So we really do appreciate the dialogue we had today. Anything
Yes, but
else?
that being said, I gotta get out of here, y'all. Y'all have
We
a good night.
You guys have a good night, and we will see
Assalamu
you guys
alaikum.
next Tuesday. Jeremy said, "Are we having the? Is it going to be live at the studio or live at home? It's going to be at the studio.
Yeah, we're back in the studio for
We're
a
back
while.
in the studio. Yeah, so we'll have a live show at the studio, and then the regular episodes that yeah, you guys usually see. So we'll
Wait,
see you guys on Tuesday.
what time is this session for the studio? You know what? Just call me and tell me.
I'm gonna send it to you. Yeah, I got you. Don't worry. Yes, I love you guys. Thank you, Tyrek, and thank you, Emmanuel.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so
Bye,
much.
Christine. Bye. Love you guys. Bye, everyone. Bye, Pretty Ace. Bye, Jeremy. Bye, all of you guys. Love you guys. Love you guys. Love you guys.
How do we? Are you gonna end it? I do this every time. Okay, bye, y'all.
I don't even know how to do it. Don't leave. Don't leave. Don't leave. Let me end it because I don't know how to get out.